Hello everyone, today's video is part of a bottle light challenge that I'm doing with 4 other very talented YouTubers. I was sent 3 boxes of these bottle lights before Christmas by a company called Onforu, and I'll leave the link to their shops in the description box below. But I offered these as a giveaway in small sets of 6 and invited 4 YouTubers to take part in a challenge with me where we'd create a non-festive themed project using these lights. So once you've finished watching my video, do go and check out their video links. You'll find them in the description box below because they have come up with some amazing ideas using these lights. Now I'm going to be working on a Sambuca bottle today. I've turned my lights off to try and avoid as much glare as I can. This bottle is absolutely beautiful, and I picked this up from my local pub landlord who's been saving interesting bottles for me to alter. Now it had a label on the front and the back. This is the label that was on the front, and it also had one on the back as well. And to remove these, I've just soaked the bottle in hot soapy water for, I don't know, half an hour or so, and then all the labels and everything came straight off. Now because this one came from a pub as well, mine had one of those plastic pouring measures in the top, and I found a YouTube video that told me how to remove that safely, so no problem. But you know, if you're interested in finding interesting bottles, local restaurants, public houses, you know, are throwing these away. They go into the bottle bank, so I'm sure that, you know, they'd be willing to spare the odd 1 or 2 for you to have a play with for a project like this. Now when my bottles, when my labels came off after I'd soaked them, they just peeled off really easily, and they still had the sticky on the back. And you can see here that I've mounted both of them onto a piece of cardstock because I want to use these as a template. Now I don't know if I hold this one up, I don't know whether you can see that this was a rectangular shape. I've allowed a bit of excess to the left and right hand side, and then I've curved it on the top as well. I've also allowed myself a border on this one here too, because I want to use these as a template, and I just wanted to make the labels slightly larger to fill the whole of that space. Now I want to use this beautiful piece of Stamperia decoupage paper to decorate the front and back of my bottle. It's on an angle just because I can't get it to fit underneath the camera. Now I've added some removable glue stick to the backs of both of my labels. This is it. This is the Scotch removable stick, and I'm going to start off with the bottom one. This is going to be a really tight squeeze, and unfortunately I'm going to end up with the Stamperia logo on the one on the back, but that's okay, it's only small. And then we'll have this one here because I don't want any of the butterflies or pattern. I just want the background detail, and so I'm going to have that about there like that. I want some of the text. Let me just move that over very slightly. So there we go, about there. And then I'm just going to go and fussy cut around these. Now the easiest way to do this is just to trim an area and just make it smaller, just so that it's easier to work with. And then it will allow you to just hold it in place. I'm just going to hold that in place like this and just fussy cut all the way around. So here are my templates cut out. I'm keeping this piece here because I can use that for something else. And before I peel them off, I want to go around the edges with Memento ink. And because this is so flimsy, of course, it's easier to do it on this side here. I'm using my brand new ink pad as well, just because it's darker. And of course, I'm doing this on the back, so I'm hoping that it will show through on the other side. And this will just hide, hopefully, any imperfections from my fussy cutting, which actually didn't turn out to be so bad. So both of those have been inked up, so let's peel this up and just see what it looks like. Just be careful when you do this. As I say, it is repositionable, so you know, not too sticky, just sticky enough to hold it in place. And there we go, that's what we're left with. Do the same with the other one as well, and it's lovely. I've got that lovely inked border now as well. Before I glue these down, I just want to apply some acetone. This is just pure 100% pure acetone, the stuff that you use to remove false nails and nail polish and that kind of thing. And I am just going to clean the areas where these images are going to go. So I'm not going to bother with the rest of the bottle at the moment, although I've already given this a good clean anyway. But I just want to do this just before I apply any glue and stick it down. Now I'm going to glue my images down with some matte medium. Mine's the Winsor & Newton Galleria matte medium. Use any brand. It really doesn't make any difference. And I'm going to apply mine directly to the back of the Stamperia paper. This is mulberry paper. And I've turned my mulberry paper over. So that's the front. This is the back. I'm working on a piece of deli paper. And I'm just going to dip straight into the pot, apply my glue all over the back, making sure that I get plenty on the edges because I don't want this peeling up. So we'll apply plenty here. I'm being really generous. There we are. And then I'm going to gently peel this up. Some of the ink's come off, but that's fine. Pop that down like that, and then this is where I need to be careful and glue this carefully in place. So start at the top. I can use a piece of deli paper as well just to blend this out, just to make sure that I don't end up with any wrinkles. And just take your time. We've got a bit of wriggle room, and because we're using mulberry paper here, the decoupage paper, it's not as fragile as a paper napkin. There we go. Now once you're happy with the position of it, use a clean piece of deli paper over the top, and then you can smooth it down just to get rid of any wrinkles. You can also use kitchen cling wrap to do this as well. And this will just make sure that we've got it glued down nice and smoothly. So that's glued down, and I'm just going to give this a dry with my heat tool before I do the other side. Okie dokie, so that's dry now, and that's how it looks. I've put another piece of clean deli paper down just so that if that's still slightly damp, it's not going to stick. And bring back my piece of deli paper. I'm going to use the other side, and again I'm just going to glue this down in exactly the same way. So applying plenty of the matte medium, concentrating on getting plenty on the edges as well so that it doesn't come unstuck. Here we are, and then we can glue this piece down as well. So pop that over there. And then I just need to concentrate on getting this in the right place. You've got some wiggle room, and you can lift it as well. If you find that you've not popped it down in the right place, you can lift it again and reposition it. So there we are. And again, we'll take that piece of deli paper and we'll just smooth that over just to make sure that it's glued down really well. And again, I'm just going to give this a quick zap with the heat tool. So that's all nice and dry, and I want to add a focal image. I've got some of these flowers here from a set by Little Birdie, and I've pulled out 3, and I've already inked around the edges as well, just using the Memento ink in Espresso Truffle, because I can't decide which one I might want to use. You see, I really like this one here. The colours are perfect, but I do feel that it's a bit bulky and overpowering, perhaps takes up a bit too much of the background. I've also got this one here as well. The colours are perfect, but with the polka dots it just feels a bit too modern with the theme of the mulberry paper. And I've also got this one here as well, and I just really like that, so I think it's between these two here. This one is just that bit more subtle, and so I'm going to glue this on. Now what glue shall I use? I've got some of my tacky glue here. I'm just going to use a little bit of this just in the center, and then I'm going to use my glue gun as well, just for speed, but I just want to have this just to make sure that it's permanent, because when you're using a glue gun, it's not permanent and they do have a tendency to come unstuck. So if we use both, hopefully it will stand the test of time. So I'm just going to glue this down. How do I want that to go? Don't overthink it, Nina, just plonk it down in the middle like that. And I'm just going to hold that down for a minute or two. I think that's so beautiful. I just love that. Now I'm going to use my jewellery bead making mat just to hold that in place, and so that I don't squash my flower as well, just so that I can add something to the back. Now I'm thinking that I'd quite like the butterfly to go there. So this has already got jute twine wrapped around it already. So I'm thinking we can have that there. I don't want it straight. I quite like it on the slant. And then I've also got one of the Tim Holtz Small Talk quotes here. Now, where's it gone? There is beauty in simplicity, because I just want to keep this really, really simple. I am going to cut that in half, like that, and ink around the edges. Where's my, no, this is black, but I've only got my Memento ink and espresso truffle to hand, and that will do just fine, just to get rid of those white edges. So we'll do that. Let's just stick it to the top of the ink pad, and so we can have that on there. There is beauty in simplicity, something like that. These will need gluing down properly, which will give me time to, you know, figure out exactly where I want them to go, perhaps a bit lower down. Let's just peel that one off about there. I think that's good placement. So there we go, we'll stick that back on, and then I'm going to use my tacky glue and my glue gun again to stick down the butterfly. So I'm just going to apply plenty in the middle like that, bring back my glue gun. Oh, whoopsie daisy, we've got some paper stuck to that, and then we can stick that down just there. And then I'm going to have to set this aside then to dry properly. I think that's gorgeous, but I just feel that it's a bit bottom heavy and needs something else to balance it out. So I've got this other flower here, and I'm thinking that I can add that there just like that. The colours are perfect, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Now, to balance out the front so that it matches in with the back, I've pulled out another of the quotes, the Tim Holtz quotes: hold on tight to your dreams, which I'm going to glue down with some Fabri-Tac, as I did before. So that will go on there like that. And I've got another little flower, a much smaller one this time, that I'm just going to add to the top. And that just looks much, much better to me. Now I've got my glue gun back again, because I want to add some twine to the lip of my bottle. So I'm just going to put a touch just across the top like that. And we'll secure that there like that. And then I'm just going to wrap it round. So I need to add some all the way around the top like this, and I only want a teeny weeny amount. I'm going to have to work quick before the glue dries, so we'll do this, and I'm just going to keep going, just adding a bit of glue at a time, and then you see I can cross over there. Let's add a bit of glue there like that, pulling it quite tight, and you can bunch it together as well. But of course, glue from a glue gun dries really, really quickly, so just add a little bit at a time. So I'm just going to continue wrapping this around like so. I'm not adding any on the string there, because I don't want to add any more bulk. This is just to keep it in place. So So I've continued wrapping the twine around the top of the bottle. I love how that looks, and I've got one piece left, and what I'm going to do now is attempt to tie a bow around the top of my bottle. So I'm just going to tie it tightly like this and try and create a nice even bow, a tight one. Let's bring this down a little bit. This is so hard to film because of course the bottle is completely the wrong shape for the camera, but I am doing my best. Here we go. I really like how that looks. I like the dangles there. So what have we got? Let's just try and trim that. There we go. Just need to straighten those out a little bit. I might need to trim those actually. I think I'm going to trim those to there. They're a bit long, aren't they? Let's just use those for measurement and trim the other ones on the other side to the same length. Yep, I'm happy with that. Now, do I want to add anything else? And I might add a touch of glue actually, just to hold that in place and just make sure that over time it doesn't unravel. Now I've just got one more thing that I want to add to this. I just want to add a couple of pearls just to that string there, like that, just to tie in with the pearl that's on the back and just pull it all together. And I'm just going to use a tiny weeny bit of glue just to make sure that those don't come unstuck. So I'm just going to apply that there, like that. Here we go. And then just pop those down, and I think I'm done. I'm just going to ponder on that for a while and just make sure that I don't want to add anything else, and just, you know, give that time for that glue to set. That just looks so pretty. That's finished that off absolutely beautifully. Now, before I add my lights to my bottle, there's just one more thing I want to do. I've got one of these chipboard mini tags here. Let me just grab my ruler and I'll tell you what this measures. This one here is 6 by 3 centimeters, or in inches it's 2.5 by 1 1/4. I've got a stamp here. This is from the Stampers Anonymous entomology set, and I'm just going to use this. I just thought this was the right size and in keeping with what I've done so far. I just want to add a little bit of stamping just in the corners, just like that. That's perfect. And then I'm going to ink around the edges. I'm going to use this little mini stamp pad here to do that though, because the ink on this one isn't quite as prominent, because the ink pad is nearly dry. So I'm just going to ink around the edges like this, just to grunge it up a bit. Here we go, just like this. Doesn't that look cute? I think I'm going to grunge the back as well. Now I love how that looks, but I do want to add a tiny bit of the frayed burlap as well, just bringing that into the centre, just a tad. Here we go. I'm happy with that now. And then I have got, what have I done with them? Just a flower and a leaf that I'm just going to glue on like that there. I just think that looks really pretty. Let me just hold that up for you. Isn't that cute? So I'm just going to glue this down with a small amount of glue like this. This is 3 in 1. Oh, it's a bit gloopy at the end. Let's just add some glue to the back there as well. There we are, that will do fine. And then make sure I get this in the right place. Turn that over. I want it there, about there, like that. So I'm just going to press that down and just set that off to one side to dry. There we go, just move that out just a tiny weeny amount. I just love that. I might put some glossy accents over that as well, because clearly you can see that the beads are coming off. What have I got here? Some Anita's 3D gloss gel. I'm just going to add a small amount over the beads as well. I'm going to have to find a needle just to, or tip it upside down. Let's see if I can get this to work. Here we go, and that will just hold my beads in place. I'm obviously going to have to set that aside for the glue to dry, but that will stop my beads from popping off and will dry clear. Now I've got a bottle bag here that I want to be able to pop my bottle in so that I can give it away as a gift. It's got these grey ribbon handles on that don't really go with anything on the bottle, so I'm just going to pop these out and I've got another quick idea. So I've taken the ribbon handles out of my bag and I'm going to use these as a template. I've untied the knot so that I've got the right size, and I'm just going to cut myself some new ones out of some burlap, which will go really well with the string that I have used on the bottle. It just tonally works much better. So I'm going to cut myself 2 of these. Right, there we go. So we've got those, and I can just pop these through the bag and tie a knot on the back in the same way as this one here. So we'll just tie a knot there like that. There we go, pop that one through. I'll do the same on the other side. And I shall do the other side as well, and obviously sort of make sure that these aren't twisted like they are now, but that just looks so much better. So I'm just going to do the same on this side here. So just to finish this off, I've got a piece of string which I'm just going to pop through my little tag like that. The glue is now dry, and then I can just tie that onto the handle like so. Go, pop that down there, and just isn't that gorgeous? And then I've got my bottle lights here, so let me just move that out of the way a second, and these just unwind like this, so that you can just pop these inside your bottle. These Onforu lights here are I think 20 lights, so I'm just feeding these into the bottle like this. There we are, like that. And then you'll see that this has just got a little tab on the side here. You need to pull that out in order for the lights to work. There we go, that activates them. So we'll screw that in and make sure that's on nice and tightly, and turn the lights on. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love that. Isn't that pretty? So I hope you enjoyed this project. Let me just show you close up. So that's the front. Let me just turn the lights off. So that's what it looks like, and that's the back. We'll pop the lights back on again. You can probably see it better in this light with if I turn the lights off. A great recycling, trash to treasure and gift giving project. And even the bottle bag here was one that I've taken out of my recycling stash. I just love how pretty that looks. Now I'm going to leave the link to Onforu's shop in the description box below. They only sell their bottle lights in Europe, and there's a different Amazon link depending on where you live, so do check those out. I've done bottle projects before using bottles that I've had from Pound Shop. These last much longer, much better quality lights. But for those of you outside Europe, if you just search battery operated wine bottle lights, you'll find lots of different suppliers. I'm also going to leave the link to the other 4 people that are taking part in the hop, some very talented ladies, and they've come up with some amazing ideas. I think some of them have done 2 or 3 different projects as well, so do go and check out their videos. You'll find the links in the description box below. But if you enjoyed my video today, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, and take care everyone. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.